How's it going, everybody? Gaming Grandpa here with my MLS Explained tutorial for Football Manager 24 redone. I had to redo it for a few reasons. Number one, I created my Football Manager YouTube channel. It's only for Football Manager. I only currently have 2 subscribers, so what are you waiting on? Go ahead and help me out. But I wanted to put all my Football Manager videos on there. Well, the problem is I lost all of my original assets that I used to create them, so I had to redo it. And since I'm redoing it, I might as well fix a couple things. So there we go. All right, I'm going to try to breeze through a few of these as quick as I can, because if you've already watched this video from 23, it's pretty much the same thing. All right, and first off, you have to excuse any grammatical errors or spelling errors. I did this in a hurry because I only had this weekend to get it done, so I'm in a rush. All right. MLS stands for Major League Soccer. Once again, check out the L. I didn't capitalize it. My apologies. Okay, the main thing to understand about the MLS contracts is that the league owns all contracts. It's called MLS rights, and I'll get into that more in a little bit later. A max roster in the MLS is 30. The minimum roster is 18. The match day, you can have 11 starters and 9 subs. You're only allowed to bring in 5 in the game, but you can have 4 extra. You're also giving 2 concussion subs. It doesn't display anywhere in the game, but it's a given. I've only ever experienced that one time in my career playing MLS Football Manager, but in real life it happens more often than you can imagine. If a player gets hurt in the game and the referee somehow suspects he has a concussion, then chances are they're going to let you sub him off, and you'll get a message that pops up saying he's been, injured, and it doesn't count as a sub. So it's really kind of a neat feature, and I'm glad they added that in there. All right, currently, as of Football Manager 24, which covers the year 2023 season, there's 29 teams and 2 conferences. The East, which currently has 15 teams, and the West, which has 14 teams. You play 34 games a season. You play everybody in your conference twice, once home and once away. The remaining games, for example, if you're in the East, all right, you're playing 28 games. So the remaining 6 games, you're playing the other conference. And you play an even number home and an even number away. And I have no idea how the algorithm works, but you don't play the same teams each year. So it rotates. So it's kind of a nice little feature, but that way everybody plays 34. Now, most games are played on Saturdays. There are exceptions. Once you get into the League's Cup and you continue to win, you're going to find that you might be playing 2 or 3 or up to 4 games a week. It's happened, especially if you're in the U.S. Open and all kinds of other things. So it gets congested. It can, but most games are on Saturday. Now, in the game, the dates change. For the 2023 season start, the registration date is February 18th. What that means is that that's the first chance you have to register your team. That's not the final, it's the first chance. Now, the compliance date is March 4th. Now, I want to explain what that means. By March 4th, your roster has to be compliant with the registration rules of the MLS. And that's the last date that you can make changes to that. That has to be your complete registration by March 4th. Now, also, the 30th team is starting in 2025 in real life. San Diego, they were actually on today. I got to watch them. Now, I guess it's going to be in Football Manager 26, but I'm kind of mad because I love the expansion teams in Football Manager. It's fun. I love it. But the 30th team is San Diego, and of course, they're going to go up in the West to even it out. I'm going to talk about the All-Star Game this year. Once again, 2023 season, the MLS All-Stars will play on July 19th. They're going to play against Arsenal. And I can tell you already that they got their asses kicked because Arsenal beat them 5-0. It's ridiculous, but it happens. Now, the participants are voted by fans, the media, and players. That's right. Players get to vote for themselves or each other to help boost them to get into the All-Star team. There's no bonus or anything like that for the players, but it's supposed to be a big honor to play in the All-Star game. And if you're a fan of MLS or anything like that, then, or the Pro Bowl and NFL, the NBA All-Star game, you understand why it's important in the USA. The eligible players In order to become eligible, the players would have to have played in 50% of the games available before the voting starts. There's 26 total players in the All-Star Game. 12 are voted on, once again, by fans, media, and players. 12 are picked by the coach, and 2 by the MLS commissioner. I guess he has to get his 2 in there. I would be happy with 24, but it's 26. The coach is selected by the host of the game. So in 2023, the All-Star Game was in D.C. D.C. United hosted it. The front office, got to pick who their coach was, and obviously they went with their DC United's coach at the time, Wayne Rooney, and he got to coach the All-Star Game. But they try to rotate it, but a lot of times the host, they don't pick their own coaches. Maybe they want to give them time off. I don't know. But in that case, it did work. Now, previous teams include Real Madrid, Roma, Man United, Chelsea, Juventus, and Bayern. There's been a few more teams, but I just didn't want to list all of them. Historically, the MLS All-Star Game has been against the Liga MX All-Stars, and 2022 was the last time that happened, and I believe in 2024 in real life it did too. The Supporters Shield winner is the team in the league between both conferences that ends the league with the most points, or ends the season with the most points. They automatically earn a CONCACAF berth. LA Galaxy and DC United are tied with 4 Supporters Shield wins in the history of the MLS since 1996. Only 7 times has the winner of the Supporters Shield gone on to win the MLS Cup. So that's kind of interesting. I had to look that one up. The Lamar Hunt US Open, it's pretty much the English FA Cup. It's up to 100 teams are invited. It's from professional leagues and from amateur leagues. Now, I'm not going to cover all of what all the acronyms mean. You can look them up. Wikipedia has a really good American pyramid, but there's a lot. The professional ones include the MLS, the USL Championship, the USL League One, NISA, MLS Next Pro, which is your B teams. The amateur clubs include USL League Two, NPSL USA, SA, US Club Soccer. It's an invitation, and almost every team has participated, except for a few amateur ones in the past. It's a single elimination tournament. The MLS enters the tournament in the 4th round. The winner of this also earns a CONCACAF berth. Now, as to date, there has never been a team outside the MLS that has won this, but there's been a few that have been in the semifinals. So that would be hilarious for a NISA team or an amateur club team to actually get into the CONCACAF Champions League by winning the U.S. Open. That would be crazy. But it hasn't happened to date. If you're a March Madness fan, it's kind of like a 16 seed upsetting a 1, even though it's happened a couple times in the past 10 years. But, it's hilarious. The MLS Cup. There's a new structure that started in the 2024 real life season, but I'm going to cover what's in Football Manager now. There's 14 teams that are included, 7 per conference. At the end of the season, the teams, of course, are ranked, 1st through 7th place, and that's their seed. It's a single elimination tournament. The conference winner of each conference earns a first round bye. The round that includes the following 6 teams, it's the low seeds versus the high seeds. So seed 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, and 4 versus 5. The winner advances. The highest remaining seed plays the lowest remaining seed. So in the 2 versus 7, let's say 7 wins, then 1 for their first game is going to get to play against 7. If 2 wins and 6 wins, then they're going to end up playing 6. Okay, so the highest always plays the lowest, and the highest seed also has home field advantage in this current structure. The winner of this also earns a CONCACAF berth. Now, the funny thing is that just because you win a Supporters Shield, once again, only 7 times in almost 30 years have they gone on to win the MLS Cup. So there's no guarantee that just because you're the best team in the league with the most points that you're going to win the MLS Cup. So it's just funny, but that's how American sports are. The Campeones Cup. I didn't have this listed in my first tutorial that I did, or the 24 tutorial. I didn't even realize it existed. I sim a lot, and I just skipped through it. It's hilarious. I never realized it was the Campeones Cup was in Football Manager. It's crazy. But the Campeones Cup, or Champions Cup, was started in 2018, and it's the winner of the MLS Cup versus the winner of the Campeón de Campeones, Liga MX. Liga MX has 2 tournaments. The winner of both plays each other, and the winner of that gets to play the winner of the MLS Cup from the previous year. It's only bragging rights. There's no CONCACAF berth that is awarded, and there's not even any money that's awarded. You just get a trophy that doesn't show up in your trophy cabinet. I'm not going to go there. The League's Cup, that's the big one here. It's July through August, and this is also what makes your MLS schedule freaking congested. You end up having to reschedule a bunch of games, and it's a mess. But it's a quick tournament. It's a fun tournament, and I highly recommend that you don't sim through it and you enjoy it. It's a single elimination tournament. Every MLS team and Liga MX team participates. I don't think they can even opt out of it. I think it's kind of like mandatory because I've never heard of a team not playing in it. The top team from each league, once again the previous year, earns a bye to the knockout round, which that avoids about 4 games. So that's a pretty good thing. From there, the teams are put into groups of 3 by a draw, and the top 2 teams in each group advance, and there's 15 groups. The winner and loser of the whole tournament, they both earn CONCACAF berths. The third place winner also earns a CONCACAF berth. Speaking of CONCACAF, let's talk about the Champions League. Now, starting in real life in 2024, it's known as the Champions Cup. And the funny thing about that is it used to be the Champions Cup years ago, and they changed it to Champions League. Make up your mind, CONCACAF. This is a single elimination tournament. There are 27 teams. 5 teams enter directly into the round of 16. You avoid the groups. The Caribbean Cup winner, the Central American Cup winner, the League's Cup winner, the MLS Cup winner, and the Liga MX winner. The remaining teams come from Canada. They get 3. Canada is a unique country. They have a few teams that are in the MLS, and the MLS teams can't qualify through the Canadian League, obviously, because they're not in it. But there's other cups and stuff in Canada that the Canadian teams like Toronto and Vancouver, they are allowed to participate. So they can come in that way. Now, if they win the Canadian Cup, which has happened, Toronto won it one year, and if they win the MLS Cup, then of course they only get 1 berth and another Canadian team can come in. But Canada gets 3, the Caribbean Cup get 2, the Central American Cup gets 5, the League's Cup gets 2, which is the 3rd place and the runner-up. Liga MX gets 5 and the MLS only gets 4, and the US Open Cup winner gets the 1. The winner earns the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup berth, and Seattle is the only MLS team to win to date. Now, it's also a year behind. So it's in the year 25 now. So we're still playing the 2024 Champions League. It's from the results of 2024. All right, 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Now it's every 4 years. It's a single elimination, and now there's 32 teams that enter. The Asian Champions League get 4, the African Champions League gets 4, CONCACAF gets 4, CONMEBOL gets 6, the Oceanic Champions League gets 1, and of course UEFA with their huge 12. The host nation also gets 1, and that makes up the 32 teams. And the cool thing is USA is hosting it this year in 2025 in different stadiums, and gosh, I hope they have one in St. Louis so I can go and see it because it's an hour and a half away. I'd be so excited. But anyway, guys, that wraps up part 1 of my MLS Explained Football Manager tutorial for 24. Redone. And that's called League Structure. Don't forget, check out my YouTube channel on our Football Manager YouTube channel where this video is going to get posted to. And, take a look at it. I'm trying to add more videos there from my current YouTube channel. It just was getting too clustered with Xbox and Football Manager, so I wanted to separate them. But anyway, I appreciate your support. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and stick around for part 2.